All right, Shalom. First, I start by saying all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim, Kakadash, double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. This is DHS, drug cartels offering bounties to kill ICE officers. Right. So, whether this is the government, trying to help them pass legislations and crack down on Latins a whole lot more, which is bringing more justification than them going into Mexico and things like that. Eventually this is gonna happen. Uh, it might be happening on a small scale, but eventually these U.S. citizens are, they are going to target these ICE officers. Because that's biblical prophecy. The Lord going to turn them against these officers, and that's going, it's going to eventually be a fallout. But I'm gonna play this video. Then there's a couple more videos. I haven't watched them yet, so I'm kind of going in the spirit with this. Or in part two. So I'm going to play this video and then add some precepts.
Tonight, tear gas deployed after another clash in Chicago during President Trump's crackdown on illegal immigration. Homeland Security officials say an SUV carrying an undocumented immigrant trying to flee arrest first rammed a Border Patrol vehicle. Then the Border Patrol vehicle crashed into the SUV to stop it. Chicago police say a hostile crowd started throwing objects at federal agents who then deployed tear gas. 13 officers were exposed to it.
There's absolutely no reason to have this kind of chaos happening in our communities, putting people at risk, just exacerbating the fear that people feel right now.
The latest clash comes as DHS says Mexican drug cartels are now offering cash to target ICE officers and other federal agents. $5,000 to $10,000 for kidnapping or assaults on officers, and up to $50,000 for the assassination of high-ranking officials.
We're not backing down. President Trump and Secretary Noem are going to give our law enforcement the resources they need to succeed and clean up America's streets.
The president today once again touting his crackdown on crime in Democratic-led cities.
Chicago, we've already made a lot of progress despite fighting from the government, but Chicago is doing great.
Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is now refusing to play a video of DHS Secretary Kristi Noem at airports where she slams Democrats. Johnson calling the video propaganda.
Gabe Gutierrez, we thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on.
All right. So that's the first video. News Nation.
Monday.com, the opposite of any work platform we tried in the past. We tried other work management platforms, not naming names.
Mexican drug cartels are now being accused of offering incentives for people to attack, even kill ICE and CBP officers. The Department of Homeland Security tweeting in part, criminal organizations in Mexico have begun offering thousands of dollars for the murder of federal law enforcement. Let's bring in News Nation's Allie Bradley, who is live along the southern border. Allie, what is going on here? What more can you tell us?
Yeah, hey, Nicole. So we know that cartel-linked networks in Mexico are actually offering these bounties on ICE and Border Patrol agents and officers on U.S. soil. That's according to DHS. Now, DHS is saying that these networks have actually recruited U.S.-based sympathizers, including street gangs in cities like Chicago. They're surveilling, harassing, and even ambushing federal law enforcement. Investigators say that there are actually rooftop spotter teams in certain neighborhoods relaying real-time coordinates to gunmen during enforcement actions. DHS officials say the cartels have a tiered bounty system with payouts escalating based on rank and action taken. So here's the breakdown on your screen. $2,000 for gathering intel or doxing agents, including photos or family details. $5,000 to $10,000 for kidnapping or non-lethal assaults on ICE and CBP, and then up to $50,000 for the assassination of high-ranking officials. Officials are also accusing extremist groups of providing logistical help to shield cartel-linked suspects, whether it's pre-staged protest supplies or doxing. And just last week, Commander-at-Large Border Patrol Chief Gregory Bovino found himself as a target for the Latin Kings gang, a $12,000 hit on Bovino, where he mocked them, saying, quote, "I'm a bit harder to kill than they think." One Border Patrol agent deployed there in Chicago says the targeting was inevitable. Take a listen.
It's only a matter of time for that to happen, right? And that's why we cover our faces, right? Chief Bovino, obviously he's leading from the front. He doesn't cover his face. Everyone sees who he is, and that comes with it, right? But again, we're the United States Border Patrol. We have a bunch of different assets and abilities to combat that. And as you said, that individual got arrested. So anyone that thinks that they're going to get away with doing that, I mean, they better think twice.
Now, this all comes, Nicole, as Facebook actually just pulled a major page that was used to dox ICE and Border Patrol. The DOJ intervened there and says that they promise that they're going to prosecute anybody who is doxing these agents, and they're going to get these social media platforms to remove those pages. Nicole?
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation app right now on your phone, and you will get...
All right. Let's see.
The Department of Homeland Security says Mexican drug cartels have put a bounty on ICE and Border Protection officers in Chicago. The department says the cartels are offering thousands of dollars for those who gather information on federal officials and their families, and even more money for kidnapping or assassinating high-ranking officials. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says she's stepping up security for federal agents.
Yeah, so this is it. This is still a part of the agenda of the elites, because they need for Jake them to resist the police to help further their agenda. I have another video, but it ain't on this page. I have it on another page. I'll be able to put that one up later. But they said the cartel was going to Ukraine to get trained um, how to use drones and things of that nature. So it sounds like the U.S. government um, what do you call it, agenda. But that's only gonna help them further persecute.
This is the crash that led to a chaotic confrontation between.
And they do this in Mexico. They do this in Mexico. So I don't put it all the way past them. Esau do these things to help put it in people's minds to do that. You know. So Latins will, if not now, on a greater scale, really be putting that work in. You know.
Residents and federal officers on Chicago's east side. Homeland Security officials say an undocumented immigrant inside an SUV tried to flee from being arrested and rammed into a Border Patrol vehicle. A chase followed, with agents then crashing into the SUV to stop it. 2 people fled on foot but were eventually arrested. Residents nearby gathering at the scene, the crowd growing hostile, throwing eggs at federal agents, then rocks. Agents responding by firing tear gas. Several people were arrested.
There's absolutely no reason to have this kind of chaos happening in our communities, putting people at risk, putting people in harm's way, and just exacerbating the fear that people feel right now.
The confrontation is the latest to highlight the growing security risk for federal officers. Homeland Security says Mexican cartels are now offering cash bounties targeting ICE officers and other agents. They say cartels are offering $2,000 for gathering intelligence on federal officials and their families, $5,000 to $10,000 for kidnapping or non-lethal assaults, and up to $50,000 for the assassination of high-ranking officials.
We're not backing down. We will keep going. We will continue to enforce the rule of law. President Trump and Secretary Noem are going to give our law enforcement the resources they need to succeed and clean up America's streets.
President Trump says his crackdown on crime in Democratic-led cities is working.
Chicago, we've already made a lot of progress despite fighting from the government, but Chicago's doing great.
Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Right.